I, 30-year-old male, have been dating my girlfriend Olivia, 23-year-old female, for the last year. We met at a coffee shop near my office that I used to frequent to get my morning coffee, and she worked there as a barista. I asked her out, and she said yes. Things have been great so far, and I feel we are compatible in terms of what we like and want from a relationship. She has a group of 3 girlfriends she is close with. These girls are always very welcoming to me, but they seem very immature compared to my friends. One of the girls is Harper, approximately 23 years old. Harper is awesome, and we get along well since we like the same video games and music. Recently, Olivia and I were talking about taking our relationship to the next stage, and I asked her to move in with me. She spends 4 to 5 nights a week at my place anyway, so I asked her to just move in. For some reason, her parents are the most excited about this, as she is finally moving out of their house. She also told her friends about it. On Saturday, Olivia decided to stay back at her parents' house to pack some of her things. Harper messaged Olivia and me that she and her friends were downtown, and if we wanted to hang out with them. Olivia was gone, but she told me it was okay if I wanted to go out for drinks with the girls. I had nothing to do, so I joined them. It was all 3 of her friends and me, and we went to a few bars. We lost the other 2 girls midway, and it was just Harper and me. I was constantly messaging Olivia about what was going on, as I started to get uncomfortable with the situation. As it was getting late, I told Harper that I would get an Uber for her to drop her off at home. She told me that she wanted to go dancing. At this point, she was visibly getting drunk. I called an Uber for her anyway. As we were leaving the bar, Harper grabbed my t-shirt and tried to kiss me. I immediately pulled back and told her that this was making me uncomfortable, and I would let it pass since she was drunk. She apologized to me. As we were waiting for the Uber, she again started getting handsy and told me, "Let's go back to your place, and no one needs to know." I snapped at her at this point and told her to please shut up until she got in the car. Finally, the Uber came, and I got Harper to get in. She kept on apologizing to me and telling me, "Please don't tell Olivia." Finally, her Uber left, and I tracked it on my phone to make sure she reached home. I asked Olivia to check with Harper's roommate if she got safely to her apartment. As I was walking home, I called Olivia and told her about what happened. Olivia was crying, and I was genuinely pissed at Harper's behavior. Olivia tried to call Harper at night, but her phone was going straight to voicemail. In the morning, Olivia came home and told me, "Hey, it's all good, it was just a test." I was angry at this point, and I asked Olivia to explain what was going on. So Harper messaged Olivia in the morning that Olivia was really lucky and that I passed the test. I asked Olivia if she was involved in this, and she did not know that Harper was going to test me. According to Harper, she wanted to make sure that I was not a cheater before Olivia moved in with me. Hence, she wanted to see if I would accept her advances. I told Olivia that Harper is full of shoot because she was drunk and there is no way she was thinking straight. Moreover, when I snapped at her, she apologized and told me not to tell Olivia anything. Harper is just trying to cover for her mistake and is giving a nonsense excuse. Olivia thinks I am overreacting. According to her, Harper is her best friend and will never betray her. Although the test was stupid and Harper should apologize to me, she was just looking out for Olivia's best interest. Also, Olivia feels that nothing happened, so I should not make a big deal of it. I just feel Olivia is dumb and cannot see that her friend tried to get her boyfriend to cheat. I just feel she is too immature to understand Harper's true intentions, and it is bothering me. I told her to stay away from Harper if she wanted us to have a happy relationship. Am I the jerk for telling Olivia not to believe Harper's lies? Or do you think Harper's story checks out and I am just overreacting? I have never heard of anyone hitting on their friend's boyfriend to test the relationship, and it seems like the most nonsense excuse. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Here's the deal. Olivia will not drop Harper, no matter what. You will not be able to badmouth Harper ever without pissing off Olivia, and Olivia is going to believe Harper over you, which she's pretty much proven already. The number of red flags here is significant. Do not move this girl into your apartment. Comment 2. not the idiot. Just end it. This is going to be an absolute nightmare. $5 says her friend is texting you within weeks to get together, lol. Okay, that makes me think. If she's worth it. Don't actually break up, but have your girlfriend tell her friends you guys broke and let it ride for 2 weeks. See what her friend says, lol. Now for the update. Hey everyone, a lot has happened since my last post about the whole Harper situation. Let me catch you up on the drama that unfolded over the past 3 days. After Olivia and I had our talk about Harper's test, things got even more heated. Olivia was adamant that Harper was just looking out for her, but I couldn't shake off the feeling that Harper's actions were way out of line. I mean, who does that to their friend's partner, right? The next day, Olivia and I were supposed to have a chill day at my place, just the two of us. But then, out of nowhere, Harper showed up at my door, looking like she hadn't slept a wink. She was there to apologize, but her appearance alone was enough to make Olivia raise an eyebrow. Harper's hair was a mess, and she had this guilty look plastered all over her face. It was clear she was feeling the weight of her actions. Harper spilled the beans, confessing that she did indeed try to kiss me because she had feelings for me. She admitted that the whole test story was a cover-up because she was embarrassed about her drunken mistake. Olivia was shocked, and I could see the hurt in her eyes. It was a jaw-dropping moment for sure. Olivia, being the kind-hearted person she is, forgave Harper, but she made it clear that things couldn't go back to how they were. Harper had crossed a line, and Olivia needed some space from her. I was relieved that Olivia finally saw the truth, but I felt bad for her too. It's not easy to learn that your close friend betrayed you like that. In the midst of all this, Olivia and I had to deal with the moving in situation. We had planned to start moving her stuff into my place that week. Despite the chaos, we decided to go ahead with it. Olivia's parents were a huge help, always supportive and excited for us. They even brought over some of Olivia's childhood photos, which were adorable and gave us a good laugh amidst the tension. As we were unpacking, Olivia found an old journal from her college days. She shared stories about her and Harper, how they met during a campus event, and instantly clicked because of their shared love for indie music. It was bittersweet seeing Olivia reminisce about the good times while knowing that their friendship was now strained. The next day, Olivia and I had a heart-to-heart. We talked about trust, boundaries, and what we both wanted from our relationship. It was a tough conversation, but it brought us closer. Olivia realized that she had been naive about Harper's intentions and apologized for not taking my feelings into account sooner. We spent the rest of the day setting up Olivia's stuff in my apartment. It was nice to see her personal touches around the place, making it feel more like our home. We even set up a little gaming corner where we could play video games together, something Harper and I used to bond over. But now it was a special thing just for me and Olivia. That evening, we had a small get-together with some of my friends. They were all super welcoming to Olivia, and it was great to see her fitting in with my crowd. We played some board games, shared stories, and had a really good time. It was a nice change of pace from the drama that had been consuming us. Now, 3 days later, things are finally settling down. Olivia and I are finding our rhythm living together, and it feels right. We've agreed to put the Harper incident behind us and focus on our relationship. Olivia hasn't spoken to Harper since that day she came over to apologize, and I think it's for the best. As for Harper, she's been laying low. I haven't heard from her since, and I'm not sure if she's reached out to Olivia either. It's a weird feeling knowing that someone who was once a good friend turned out to be so different from what we thought. My brother cheats with my girlfriend and marries her, but when she shows up at my door, I can't turn her away. Now I'm left wondering if I messed up. I, 26-year-old male, recently went to a family gathering for my dad's 49th birthday. But before I get into that, you need to know the backstory with me and my brother, 23-year-old male. This event happened around 3 years ago. Back then, I was dating this girl that I will call C, 25-year-old female. C and I were high school sweethearts. She was my everything at the time, and I thought I was hers. It was around Thanksgiving time when I found out. I was shopping for desserts for Thanksgiving after staying at a friend's house since I was helping them move. I came home and couldn't find C or her stuff. I tried calling her, but it went straight to voicemail. I tried her location, but it looked like she turned it off. I checked my front door camera, and I saw my brother helping her move her things into his car and leaving with her. I then tried to call my brother, but he wouldn't answer either. At this point, I started to freak out and assume the worst. But then I thought my brother would never do that to me. He was honestly like my best friend when we were kids, and even though we drifted apart kind of when I went to college, I still considered us best friends since we still talk and go out from time to time. I then called my dad and had my dad tell my mom to call my brother and to put it on speaker mode. My brother answered, and when my mom asked him where C was, he said, "She's living with me now. She broke up with OP." I felt numb at those words. I thought this was some type of sick joke, so I checked his Facebook and Instagram and saw them holding each other and kissing, and I broke down. Why was C doing this to me was going through my head all night. But then I was angry. How could my own brother, my best friend, do this to me? I drove up to his house and banged on his door, yelling at him to open up, but C was the one who opened the door. I wish I could say that I held it together, but I turned into a crying mess once I saw her. Then my brother came from his kitchen and told C to go upstairs. That's when he told me that they were having an affair ever since my second year of college and apologized to me for it. But then C just came back from the stairs and said that the whole reason why she left me the way she did was because she was sick of pretending to love me. I looked at her and realized that that wasn't the person I fell in love with. That was someone else. I then wondered if this was still worth it. I then realized that it wasn't and walked out. I try to not be a problematic person and make a scene when I know what I do won't change the outcome of the situation. Don't get me wrong, I was beyond mad at her and my brother, and I cut them out of my life on the spot. Now back to the family gathering. I live in California now and am still single. The family gathering was all right until my brother and his wife walked in with a stroller. Apparently, they got married and got busy. I really don't care anymore. I have been through enough therapy to know that I'm not the problem. She is. My brother was trying to strike up a conversation with me, but I ignored him and went back to the conversation I was having with one of my aunts. After a couple of hours, I forgot they were even there. But when I was heading to the basement to get some more ice cream, my brother followed me and nearly gave me a heart attack. He then awkwardly tried to apologize for what he did to me those 3 years ago, and I walked past him. He didn't approach me again that night, but the next day I had gotten multiple texts from my mom telling me to just forgive my brother already. My mom and dad are heavy on the religious side and had already forgiven my brother. But I can't. He's the entire reason why I have trust issues now. He knew how much she meant to me and still did what he did and expected me to just be okay with it. But I don't think I'll forgive him ever in life. Am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Good God. In what world would you ever be teaching assistant in this situation? Not the jerk. Only piece of advice I have for you is to remember that family doesn't always mean blood related. Comment 2. Forget him. Scorched earth. If you really want to hurt him, tell him you don't hate him. You don't feel anything towards him. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for all the support on my last post. I didn't expect so many people to care about my family drama, but here we are. So a lot has happened in the past 3 days since my dad's birthday party, and let me tell you, it's been a roller coaster. First off, let me fill you in on some history that I didn't mention before. My brother, let's call him M, was always the golden child in our family. He got the good grades, was captain of the soccer team, and even won a scholarship for college. I was proud of him, sure, but I always felt like I was in his shadow. Our parents would compare us, and I'd usually come up short. It didn't help that we went to the same college, where he was Mr. Popular and I was just there. Now fast forward to the day after the party. I woke up to my phone buzzing like crazy. It was my mom again, sending me texts about family and forgiveness. I ignored them and went about my day. But then I got a call from my aunt, the one I was talking to at the party. She said she needed to talk to me about something important and asked me to meet her for coffee. At the coffee shop, my aunt dropped a bombshell. She told me that M's wife, C, had been talking to her at the party, and she was having doubts about her marriage. Apparently, C felt trapped and was considering leaving M. My aunt said she thought I should know, given my history with C. I was shocked. I didn't want them to be unhappy, but part of me felt like this was karma. Later that day, I ran into M at the grocery store. It was awkward, to say the least. He tried to talk to me again, but I just grabbed my stuff and left. I didn't want to deal with him or his problems, but things got even crazier the next day. I was at home when I heard a knock on my door. It was C. She was crying and looked a mess. She said she had left M and didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. This was the woman who broke my heart, but she also looked so lost and alone. I let her in against my better judgment. She told me that she had made a huge mistake leaving me for M, and that she had been unhappy for a long time. She said she wanted to apologize for everything and try to make amends. I didn't know what to say. Part of me was still angry, but another part of me felt sorry for her. We talked for a while, and she ended up falling asleep on my couch. I didn't have the heart to wake her up and send her away. But when I woke up the next morning, she was gone. She left a note thanking me for letting her stay and saying she needed to figure things out on her own. I haven't heard from her since, but M has been blowing up my phone, asking if I've seen C. I haven't responded. I don't want to get involved in their mess, but I can't help but wonder if I did the right thing by letting her in. And what does this mean for my relationship with M? Can I really just stand by and watch his life fall apart? My fiancé gave away our cat because of her fear, but when we tried to get him back, she went nuclear over a misunderstanding. Now she wants his siblings? I, 29-year-old male, have been with my fiancé, Kate, 28-year-old female, for 6 years, and she just gave birth to our daughter 2 months ago. Before our daughter was born, we had a cat named Spooky, who is 8 years old, and we both loved him very much. Kate had gotten Spooky 2 years before I entered the picture after she found him as a stray on the street. I never imagined giving him away, but 4 months into her pregnancy, Kate started insisting that we needed to give Spooky up to a shelter because of the harm he could pose to the baby. Now, to be clear, Spooky has been around babies and toddlers before, without any problems, and people made sure their kids didn't provoke him. I was confused by this sudden switch due to how much love she usually showed to Spooky, but now she was actively avoiding him and leaving all of his care up to me. I asked Kate why she felt like Spooky might hurt the baby, and she admitted that she's had a few nightmares of Spooky biting or clawing at the baby. That prompted me to research why she felt giving Spooky up was the only way, because it was not like Kate to make such big decisions based solely on a few bad dreams. I found out that it was most likely her pregnancy hormones making her so afraid of Spooky all of a sudden. I told her what I had found out and suggested we go to a doctor to address it, but Kate refused and said it was her instincts as a soon-to-be mom making her do what was right for the baby. She threatened to leave me and not let me see the baby if I tried to stop her from doing it. So I gave in, and Kate looked for a good animal shelter within the city before driving off with Spooky in his carrier early in the morning. She didn't let me come with her, and I cried my eyes out while she was gone. Fast forward to now, and Kate has been missing Spooky after healing from the birth. 2 days ago, she said to me that she wanted to see if she could get Spooky back from the shelter, and I was surprised by this, but agreed to drive her to the shelter to see what happened. We left the baby with a trusted friend and went to the shelter in the afternoon. I was doubtful about Spooky still being at the shelter, but Kate said that since Spooky was older, he probably didn't get fostered or adopted right away. My fiancé ended up being completely wrong about that. The woman who met with us at the animal shelter told us that Spooky ended up being adopted by another young couple a few weeks after Kate dropped him off. Kate tried to get information about the couple from the woman working there, but she said that she couldn't disclose that and just reassured us that Spooky was in a wonderful home. Kate was crying the whole drive back home and only stopped while she fed and changed our daughter before starting again in our bedroom while the baby was sleeping. I just rubbed her back and held her as she was crying. In the middle of it, Kate started to rant against the animal shelter for taking advantage of a soon-to-be mom, and that they should have realized that she would want Spooky back after she gave birth. This is where I might be the jerk. What Kate said rubbed me entirely the wrong way and irritated me. Before I could think about what I was saying, I told her that I warned her that it was just the hormones messing with how she felt about Spooky, and that no one took advantage of her. That made Kate angry with me, so instead of sleeping in our bedroom, she's been staying in the guest room that's closest to the baby. She also hasn't been speaking to me unless necessary. I guess she told her best friend what happened, because I got a text from her asking me how I could be so cruel to my fiancé, and that I was an absolute weenie for saying that. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot, and Kate is an absolute monster for discarding a pet without considering medical intervention over a dream. Your wife is dangerous. Be careful. For me, wanting to get rid of the pet would have ended the relationship, and tell her friend to frick off. This is between you and Kate. The friend is out of line for getting involved in this. Comment 2. Not the idiot. You did comfort her, but also told her, hopefully gently, the truth. Too bad that you couldn't have given Spooky to a friend on a short-term basis. It will take her a few weeks or months to realize that you were correct, hopefully. I'm sure that her friend received an emotional recounting of what you said. Now for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for all the support on my last post. It's been a chaotic few days since then, and I've got quite the update for you all. After Kate moved into the guest room, things got really tense around the house. She was still giving me the cold shoulder, and I was feeling pretty guilty about what I'd said. I mean, I knew I was right about the hormones, but I could have been more sensitive about it. Now, here's where things get crazy. Kate's best friend, who had texted me calling me a weenie, decided to take matters into her own hands. She's always been the type to stir the pot, and this time was no different. She went behind our backs and started a social media campaign to find Spooky. She posted pictures of him and shared our story, asking if anyone had seen him or knew the couple who adopted him. I didn't know about any of this until I started getting messages from strangers saying they were sorry about our cat and hoped we'd be reunited with him soon. I was shocked and immediately confronted Kate's friend. She just shrugged and said she was doing what Kate couldn't. Kate was furious when she found out, not at her friend, but at me. She thought I was the one who had started the campaign. It took a lot of convincing and showing her my phone to prove I had no idea what was going on. But then, the unexpected happened. The couple who adopted Spooky saw the posts and reached out to us. They were really understanding and said they had no idea about the situation. They agreed to meet with us so we could see Spooky and talk things over. The meeting was set for the next day at a local park. Kate was a bundle of nerves, and I was just hoping things wouldn't get too heated. When we got there, we saw Spooky with the couple, and he looked happy and healthy. Kate burst into tears the moment she saw him. The couple was really kind. They told us how much they loved Spooky and how he had become a part of their family. But they also said they couldn't ignore our story and how much we missed him. After a long conversation, they made an offer that left us speechless. They suggested a sort of shared custody of Spooky. They proposed that Spooky could spend some time with us and some time with them. Kate was over the moon with the idea, and I was just relieved to see her smiling again. We agreed to try it out for a few weeks to see how Spooky would handle going back and forth. The couple also invited us over to their place for dinner to discuss the details and get to know each other better. Dinner at their place was something else. Their house was full of pictures of Spooky, and it was clear they adored him. We talked about schedules, vet appointments, and even started sharing funny stories about Spooky's antics. It was going well until Kate excused herself to use the bathroom and didn't come back for a while. I went to check on her and found her in the hallway. eavesdropping on the couple's conversation in the kitchen. She was convinced they were saying something about keeping Spooky for themselves and not following through with the shared custody plan. I tried to calm her down, but she burst into the kitchen, accusing them of plotting against us. The couple was shocked and confused. They had no idea what Kate was talking about. It turned out they were discussing a surprise they had planned for us. They had found a local artist who could make a portrait of Spooky for both our families. Kate was mortified. She apologized profusely, and thankfully, the couple was very understanding. They said they knew emotions were running high and that they still wanted to go ahead with the shared custody. So, we're going to give it a shot. Spooky will be spending a week with us soon, and we're all looking forward to it. Kate's been a lot calmer since the misunderstanding, and we're slowly getting back to normal. But just when I thought things were settling down, another twist came our way. The artist who's doing the portrait of Spooky reached out to us with a preliminary sketch, and it was incredible. The only problem? The artist had accidentally used a photo from when Spooky was a kitten, which Kate's friend had also posted online. Now, Kate's convinced we need to find and adopt Spooky's long-lost siblings, thinking the kitten in the sketch was a sign. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.